new product time.
New
product. Okay. All right, let's do this thing.
Okay.
What?
First up.
Yeah. First up, this is the big one. We'll start off with this one.
It's physically big too.
Yeah, we have the Iris. This is a quadcopter, and we're one of the only ones that have them. And this is out of the box UAV. And I'm going to get it right now.
And we can't fly indoors, so we can't show it to you.
So just to give you an idea, this is how big it is in scale of a Lady Ada. And one of the things that I did is I put the GoPro on here, so it has a GoPro mount. So,
yeah, it's a GoPro mount. It's a nice injection molded. It's resiny.
Yeah.
Or it says resin or ABS.
Yeah.
It's got these big propellers.
Yeah, beautiful motors.
It's got a body. It's got I think a 500 or 400 megahertz antenna. Back communication system. It's got LEDs. You can pop this open and recharge the battery. It's got a really good battery recharger.
Yeah.
It's a beast.
It's a beast, and like I said, it doesn't, well, you can mount the GoPro. GoPro is not included, but it can pick that payload up. Flight time is about 15 minutes or so. This is from 3D Robotics, Chris Anderson's company. He used to be the editor-in-chief
and it comes with a controller.
I'm going to show that in a second. Yeah. So this is fantastic, and under 800 bucks, unheard of in this for this size of.
Yeah, for what you're getting, and it's like it's not like a parrot drone. This is like the real thing. This is like pro quality.
Yeah. So I want to show you
UAVs.
Yeah, I want to show you some stuff it comes with.
Okay.
So it's one of the effort that they're doing at 3D Robotics is how can you get this out of the box. So this is the controller. And
huge controller with lots of switches.
This is a little dongle that goes on. Maybe you can show this on the overhead in a second.
Yeah.
This is the charger with this big battery, and then it also comes with this LiPo guard so you can charge it. And this is smart.
Yeah, there's a telemetry module. Yeah. This is cool.
Yeah.
It's intense.
So let's go to the overhead, and you can show some of the things here. So maybe you can talk about what this is.
So this is 900 megahertz. So this is the little radio. So you want to communicate with the to send commands to the UAV. I mean, it can run autonomously, but often you should always have an override. So if something goes wrong, or like you plot a way course, but then there's like a tree or something in the way, or like a helicopter, who knows, you can always override and control it with this 900 megahertz radio. And 900 megahertz is nice because it has much better range than 2.4 gigahertz like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. You'll actually be able to communicate much farther. Probably has about a 1 mile range is what I would guess. With this, maybe even a little longer. See if it says, kind of dim, but yeah, you connect with it with a micro USB connector. And then this is the LiPo battery. It's really big, so it's 3,500 milliamp hour. 30C discharge. You can discharge up to 100 amps out of it. This is the discharge, and then this is the charge port. So it's with these batteries, there's no protection circuit on the cell, which is actually a good thing. It means that it won't like cut out in the middle of a flight, which means that you might end up damaging the battery, but you could save your UAV. And usually the battery is only like $50, maybe $100. So it's good if it's like risk this guy to save your helicopter or your plane, and then it has this nice compact charger which does balance charging. And
this is a new thing. I want you to explain this because I'm starting to see this. It's a LiPo guard. It's actually a case for a battery.
Yeah. So these are little. Yeah. I mean, it's just a sort of a bag thing. It's a bag that you put the battery in. These batteries are basically like little bombs. I mean, it's just anything with...
All batteries.
All batteries are. Well, no, and these in particular because it's extremely high density. Yeah. And again, if you want to be able to draw up to 100 amps from it, that means that there's no protection circuit to keep you from shorting, because 100 amps is basically shorting it out. So there's nothing to keep it from, overheating and overcharging or undercharging. So using a bag is important, especially with RC batteries. With the cells that we sell in the store, they have protection circuits. You can use a protection bag, but you don't have to. But with RC batteries, I do recommend it.
Yeah.
Because these things are big, and unlike little mini, like, my trinket battery, which is small and at the worst, if you punctured it or squished it, it would maybe go poof. These things will actually catch a fairly big fire.
Yeah.
It'll be unpleasant.
So the other
safety.
thing is, if you get one of these, one of the coolest things about DIY drones, which is the company's name 3D Robotics, but the community was DIY drones, is the gigantic community of people. So
yeah.
Every single question that you have, all the people that are contributing code, all the things you're doing, there's rapid development on all the software. It is a fun hobby, and these things are never going to be cheap, good ones, anyways. $800 for what this is. It probably should be around a couple $1,000s. Like that's what the pricing was.
I think he got funding, and I think part of the deal is that he's like, well, I want to make it under $1,000 to get started.
Yeah.
Jay, here's how you usually charge it.
But the way I look at hobbies, because every hobby costs like a couple $1,000s in the end. Like no matter what you get into. How much time were you going to spend with this, and what type of things you're going to do? Is it going to just be something you do once, or are you going to have, can you keep developing with it?
What's cool is also this isn't like a come out of nowhere product. Like they've been working on this for what, like 4 years now, 5 years?
I like that you can mount a GoPro camera because when you're done with your flights, you get all this beautiful footage that you can share with people too. I wanted to do a drone film fest.
I wonder if a Raspberry Pi would be a good thing to mount too, because you can use the Pi cam.
You could potentially do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So next up, we have these little
little buzzers.
Little buzzers.
Yeah, these are 5-volt buzzers. So they're not the same as a piezo, because we have stocked piezos for a bit. Piezos are actually just a piezo element. It's a little piece of ceramic, and you have to use AC signal to make them make a noise. So usually you give them like 4 kilohertz or 2 kilohertz. So this has a piezo in it, but it also has the driver circuitry. So, basically instead of having to give it AC signal, you can give it a DC signal, and I'll just plug it into power. If you give it 5 volts, you actually give it 3 volts too, it'll be fine. Let me see if I can.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the overhead.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna plug it into this Arduino's pin. Boy, that's really annoying. So you can see you don't have to give an AC signal if you just give it 3 to 5 volts. And I'm giving it 3 volts. 5 volts is even louder. I really don't want to. That's really loud. So do it again. Are you ready?
Do it. That's really loud.
It's really loud. Very loud, very annoying. Buzzer. $1. Good for all sorts of annoying sounds that you may need. But because you don't need to use AC signal, they're a lot easier to use. You just need a DC signal on and off. So they're much easier to use. Trade-off is, however, you cannot change the frequency. It is 2 kilohertz.
Okay.
There's a driver inside that oscillates.
All right.
Can't change that.
Next up, we got some Blinky.
Oh yeah, let's turn on this Blinky thing.
Yeah.
So we got dots. So we have WS2801 pixels in all sorts of shapes and sizes now. A couple weeks ago we put in the sticks. We also have always had little dots, little silicone dots.
Yeah.
These are 3 LEDs per dot, but they're like big dots. So these are big glowy dots. There's a little bit of a scratch on it. There you go. That's a nice clear one. So the nice thing is they have like pretty much 180-degree visibility. They're nice and bright, but it's more that they have a good solid color. Like it's a very steady color. So these have nice little mounting holes on them, so you can mount them onto something very easily. They are waterproof, although I wouldn't put them underwater. They're probably more weatherproof than waterproof. I mean, they'll definitely survive like a good rain or dunking, but I wouldn't like put them in a pool or something. That's not what they're designed for, especially with the UV and chlorine that's in pools. People always ask us. But yeah, so these are just glowy dots, individually controlled. We have a library for them. They're really easy to use. And I don't know, do something Christmas with them.
Yeah.
You get 20.
A couple suggestions. Someone wants to know, will we stock a NeoPixel version?
The thing is that the NeoPixels, I kind of like for these large, the NeoPixels can be driven by every kind of microcontroller. And so even though they're cool, you can't use them with a Raspberry Pi, whereas you can use these with a Raspberry Pi or a BeagleBone a lot easier than a NeoPixel. And that's why for these larger sort of pixelated things, I'm going to go with these because it's like, you know, 2 pins. If you have something as big as an Arduino, like it's not a wearable, I don't feel like it's as big a deal if you're missing a pin. What I like about NeoPixels is it's really good for wearables and portable projects where you're running off a gem or a trinket where you only have like 3 pins available. So saving one's a big deal.
And the suggestion, we should stock 110 decibel buzzers. That's from Frank. Say hey to Frank.
That would be, hello, that would be loud.
Yeah.
These are loud enough for me, these buzzers.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so glowy dots.
Yeah, next up we have
SNES connectors.
Yeah, look at these.
Yeah, we actually had these left over from a fuse box build, and I was like, you know what, these might be handy, and also we might be doing some projects with an SNES controller.
Yeah.
So if you we have SNES controllers in the store, and these are just the connectors that this is what would be on the Super Nintendo that you would plug the connector into. So if you have a controller and you want to use it without splicing the cable in half, this controller is really easy to solder to. It's got these like huge pins. A Super Nintendo is basically, the controllers are basically power, ground, clock, data, latch. It's basically a parallel to serial converter, 16 bits, and you just latch it and then you clock out the data so you can sample all the buttons at the same time. Super simple. I mean, that's how they made the controllers cost like $1 to make. So you can use them with any microcontroller, any computer, basically. Anything that can do bit bang SPI, which is like everything, you can use with a Super Nintendo controller. So now we have these little connectors. They're handy if you want to do stuff with them.
Yeah. Okay. I want to go back to the little dots for a second.
Okay, dots.
Yeah, someone had a question. Can you step on these? Like, what happened if you step on them?
I mean, you'd eventually crush them. I wouldn't step on them.
Don't step on them too much.
They're not for stepping.
Yeah. I'll have to say they're sturdy.
They're sturdy, but don't step on them.
But I wouldn't put them in an installation that's designed to be stepped on a lot, because eventually they might.
Yeah,
they might
the
crack.
square. We have the squares, the 36 millimeter metal squares that are flat. You can step on those easy. I mean, I never suggest stepping on your electronics just because feet and electronics don't often mix. But if you're going to step on electronics, step on the big metal squares, because at least those are flat. And if you did want to have it be like a floor, like a disco dance floor type thing, you could get a piece of plywood and then you cut out the shape and then you can make it flush. And if you step on it, it's not a big deal. These are rounded, so they're not steppy.
Yeah.
Not steppy friendly.
When we lived at Adafruit, now we have a factory, but when we lived at Adafruit, the worst things to step on were, I think the Megas.
Yeah, AT Tinies.
The AT Tinies, because they're sharp.
The Max 756s.
And I would, if I ever had bare feet and I was walking around, especially if it was dark or something, I'd step on them, and man, that hurt.
Yeah, those are painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like sticking up.
I used to have to get up because the postal service would come.
6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, sometimes. Then they started coming even earlier because they started. His route was right there. So I had
Postal people start work early, by the way. They work at like 4 in the morning.
So I had a couple little buckets of mail, and like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I still have to wake up at 5, but now it's not to deliver packages.
At least you're not getting the buzzer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a rough 6 months when they were.
It was longer than 6 months, but it was worth it because everyone got their packages.
Yeah.
All right.
It was the only way to get a pickup.
Yeah.
You wouldn't pick it up otherwise.
Next up, more round LED art that you could wear. It's a trend.
Thank you.
It's a trend.
Yeah, these are from the LED artist.
From the LEDart.com.
That's his name.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're beautiful.
Akimitsu Saito. Sadio?
Yeah.
I don't remember Saito or yeah, I guess it's Saito. And he's an artist in New York, and he makes LED art. And maybe I'll show some on the overhead.
Yeah, let's go to the overhead, shall we?
And he makes these like little. Oh, maybe I can turn this off.
You can turn it off.
And he actually make that look really good. Yeah, that's kind of cool actually.
Yeah.
So that looks weird. Maybe I'll turn this off again. Okay. He makes these lovely little wearable LED art rings, and this one is RGB, and it comes programmed with some designs. And it runs on like a really, really big coin cell. These are like the biggest coins they can get there, CR2450s. And you can change the modes. So there's different styles and modes that you can run.
What type of chip is that?
This is a PIC chip.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's open source hardware, but the programming pins are available. So if you are okay with programming a PIC, I'm sure it's the standard. MP Lab, you know, five pin connector, you know, the PGM clock data, whatever.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I programmed PICs, but I'm assuming it's the same pin out. So you can reprogram them if you wish. But I don't know, kind of nice, elegant art. And he's a local New York artist, and I was like, this is so cool that you're making LED art here in New York. So I think he assembles these by hand as well.
Yeah, and here we've got a couple photos. I'm going to show, this is the RGB one.
Yeah. The photos look, of course, more like what it actually looks like. He took really good photos.
Might have used a filter.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, and then we have another one.
Yeah. Oh, and they come with a little lanyard. Yeah, this is the white one. This one
Yeah.
is tough to photograph. Let me also show it on the overhead.
Okay, to the overhead.
Okay, 1 second. So yeah, this one, yeah, you can replace the battery on the back. So I'm just inserting the battery.
Yeah, you can see that.
This one is a single color. It's just white, and it just kind of
rotates around.
It does a couple different effects.
That's cool.
But I don't know. I really like these. They're simple but very elegant. So they're cool. This one has like kind of not even movement. This one's kind of nice too. Yeah, so they have like different kind of effects, and so his idea is like, let's make art with LEDs, not just. And I like how it's not all RGB stuff. This is like, okay, it's just white. Nice. I like them. And he has other colors too, so if you want other colors, you can check out the LEDartist.com for more designs. And there's 2 accessories as well.
I put this as just one accessory because it's like
fine.
like one.
Oh, can you, yeah.
Yeah.
Get rid of me. So this is for the LED rings. They also have coin cells. The coin cells in the back. They're non-rechargeable, but you can get separately a rechargeable version of these coin cells. And these are 100 milliamp hour coin cells. And they're basically like little lipos. I kind of want to open one up just to see what's inside of it, because I think it's actually a lipo cell that's like encased in a coin cell.
A little
holder.
tiny lipo cell, and maybe there's a little circuit board in there?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird. Anyways, they're this big. And he made a little charger for them as well, and it slots into the charger and it goes into USB.
Yeah.
So I'll just show it.
Maybe we'll do a live teardown next week or something.
Well, you gotta be careful. I don't want to, like, it's kind of a bad scene if you're not careful to take apart.
Yeah.
I might want to do it not live.
No, what we'll do is we'll take it apart not live, and we'll be like a cooking show.
And I'll be like, oh, look.
What we'll do is you'll be like, oh, look, and then you'll be like, I took it apart.
Okay.
That's how you do this.
Well, let me show.
They don't cook a whole turkey during.
No, the turkey's already done when they pull it out of the oven. Okay, so maybe show. Let's go to the overhead and I'll show this thing off.
To the overhead again.
Okay, I'll show this coin cell. So these are just really, really big coin cells. This is a lithium-ion battery. So the thing to watch for is there's no protection cell circuitry on this. It's actually, I'm pretty sure it's actually just a lithium LiCo cell, a lithium-ion cell. You can draw up to 100 milliamps from it. I mean, it does have basic testing, like it will not catch on fire if you draw too much current from it or undercharge it. But you just have to be a little more careful because there isn't this extra protection circuit that's keeping you from accidentally charging it or accidentally discharging it. Just be aware when you use these to be a little bit more careful. So they're kind of for advanced use, but it is kind of neat to have a rechargeable coin cell, even if it's really big. And these are 100 milliamp hours. What's interesting is if you get the non-rechargeable lithium version, they're 600 milliamp hours. It's like, that's a lot. 3 volts, 600 milliamp hours. Anyways, these are 110 or so, and 3.6 volts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good. There's probably some projects that could really use these.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I like these, and I like supporting a local New York artist who's doing round black wearable electronics.
Yeah.
Cool.
We need more of those.
We do. New York is the 3D printing capital of the world. More 3D printing companies. I am going to call it right now on the show. New York is the wearable electronics capital of the world.
Okay.
Because there's now a couple companies that are doing wearable electronics, round LED boards and yeah, right. Is there any other place that has a couple?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
All right, that was new products.
That was new products, Lady Ada.
I'm done.
New
I showed them all.
products. That was it. Okay.